What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I am starting the first of a three-part series on how to sell more listings in 2023. You don't want to miss any of these. Let's go. If you want to sell more listings in 2023, listen to this episode and the next two after it. This is a three-part series on the three things that you need to do to sell more listings in 2023. So we are talking about the scenario where you have already generated the lead, you've gone on the listing appointment, you might already have the listing signed. The first part in this scenario, right? The first thing that you need to do to sell more listings is have the right pricing conversation and strategy, okay? A lot of real estate agents have been slow to react or kind of have their head in the sand about second half of 2022 and what's coming versus what happened before. And no, I'm not saying the market is crashing. No, I'm absolutely not saying that. What I am saying though is the reality is 20 to 25% less homes sold in 2022 than 21. However, that was coming off a banner year. That was coming off 2021, a year where sales were up 20, 21, 22%, somewhere in that ballpark. So if you look at the overall 10-year history of number of transactions, 2022 was a normal year. But when you compare it to the year and a half or so before, it looks like the sky is falling, right? But that's not the case. It's just back to normal, and that means high sales skills realtors are going to do well. Those that have been low skill or just order takers, that were just putting things on the MLS, seeing what happened, those people are going to suffer. So you want to listen to podcasts like this or check out my book, The Hyperlocal HyperFast Real Estate Agent, or better yet, check out our event on February 6th in Florida. We have a one-day event where hundreds of real estate agents from across the country, across the world, in fact, are going to gather and get some amazing training. Then we have 2 days of masterminding for the people that elect to do that portion of it. Small group masterminds, deep dive into your business. This is really suited for the high producing solo agents and or team leaders. If you want information on either of these, you can go to hyperfastcoach.com. Now, in terms of building your sales skills to sell more listings once you have generated the lead and are on the listing appointment, or maybe you even already have it signed, the first thing you need to do is have the right pricing conversation. You need to be able to properly tell the seller the price you think it's going to sell for. A lot of real estate agents back down during this part of the process. A lot of real estate agents, they know the house, for example, might sell for $500, but the seller wants $550, and the real estate agent just caves and is like, yeah, sure, sign the listing, right? $550. No, don't do that. Look at sold comps, right? 90 days and in, preferably. The tighter you can get on that, the better. Look at what's active, right? Just because something sold 90 days ago, it could have gone under contract 3 to 6 months before that, right? There's all crazy things where, sometimes contracts are longer than the typical 30 to 60 days, particularly if it's a new build. So, there could be something that closed based on the spring market of 22 that's inside of 90 days. So look at all of that stuff, right? Be curious. Look at the current market. So as tight as you can get on the sold comps, then look at what's active, okay? Because if something closed 90 days ago at a certain price and now a comparable home is sitting on the market, 30, 60 days, no offers, that's a good indication, right? And you're seeing a lot of cases where prices came down a little bit, like single digits, or they're just not moving. So, you need to really analyze the solds, what's on the market, what's withdrawn. And you yourself need to have an accurate idea of the price in order to have the proper price conversation. And you need to tell the seller up front, show them the data, make the data the bad guy, not you. All right. You also want to make sure you are telling them that ultimately you're there to provide guidance on the list price and who they think can get the best job or do the best job selling their home is one decision. The price they want to list it at is a second decision. All right. Make sure you're not interlinking that, because you don't want them to think you're better than the next person that comes in, but that person tells them a higher price. Okay. So, and effectively buys the listing, right? You don't want that to happen. So make sure you educate them that it's two decisions. Who's the best person to list the home? What's the list price? You provide input on the list price. Now, what do you do if they want to list for a price that you know is too high? Well, you have to have the right conversation up front. You have to tell them, like, look, set the expectation. I don't think it'll sell for this price. I'm willing to work as hard as I can to make it happen, get as many people in here, market it to as many people. You know, these types of buyers, I think, are the ideal buyers. I'm going to get in front of them. I'm willing to do that. That being said, are you willing to have a plan to adjust pricing if we do not get a certain amount of showings and or offers within 2 to 4 weeks, right? Kind of, 2 weeks, and if it's a market where things sell quicker, 4 weeks if it takes longer, price point, location, all that kind of factors in. But you want to bake in some automatic price reductions, and they need to be meaningful, at least 3%, but probably 5%, right? So that 500K home needs to, you need to have an automatic price reduction, probably at least $25,000 to make a meaningful difference. And then you repeat the process, right? You have timelines, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, automatic price reductions in the listing agreement that you talk about upfront if they don't agree to the price that you want. Now, in part 2, giving you a little teaser, in part 2, I am going to go over the marketing plan that you need to have in 2023 to sell more homes. If you want more of this content, by the way, don't forget to subscribe. We do multiple episodes weekly, so hit the subscribe button, leave us reviews, let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of. We love it when you leave reviews, particularly on iTunes. And if you want to get coaching from myself and Carrie Scholl and get access to HyperFast agent training, as well as another nationally recognized coaching program, we do that for members in our group at eXp Realty. So what happens when you join us at eXp Realty? Well, you get lower commission splits, you get stock awards, you get training from us on how to grow your business, and more importantly, you get our help, our systems, our lead gen sites on how to recruit and attract agents and build recurring income. If you want to learn more about that, just send me a text message at 703-638-4393 and stay tuned for part 2 on what you need to do to sell more listings in 2023.